Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Solene and I'm a knitter from Norway, and I am so excited for the time of year we're heading into now. I can finally almost say that we are heading into spring. The snow has almost melted. We did get a lot of snow last week, so I am kind of afraid we're going to get more, but I'm going to focus on the positive. The snow is melting, the sun's out, it's warmer, and I'm just so excited. It feels like everything's coming back to life. My creativity, nature, just everything's so much easier when it's a bit warmer and lighter outside. So I am so excited. And of course, since we're heading into a new season, I have gone through my stash, gone through my knitting plans, gone through my patterns, gone through everything, and just let my creativity run wild with all of my wishes. And I've tried to plan out my spring knitting plans from that. I have written quite a lot down, and I really wanted to share with you all of my knitting plans. Some are specific, some I have yarn for, some are more dreams, some are just yarn I want to work with this season. There's a good mix in between all of those, but I am really excited for them all. I'm really excited for this season. I hope I don't jinx it by calling it spring so we get snow back, but I just can't wait to declare it being spring because I've been waiting for this for so long. But I think we can just hit into it, and the first thing I want to show is kind of I like to call it my mood board or my mood box for the season, and that is that I like to fill this box with just the yarn that I want to knit with, the projects I want to knit with, the colors I want to knit with this season. And then I have this empty space here in my stash where I place this, so my mood board box of the season is very front and center, and I can look at this all of the time if I'm ever lacking in creativity or wondering where to go next. And this is my box for spring. I have quite a lot of the same that I had this winter because I am working on a lot of the same projects and projects I didn't get time to do in winter that I still really want to do this spring. And then I have some new ones. Here it is. I would wish that I had more bright colors in this because I do really want to knit with colors this season. I have written that here, my goals for the season, and the first one is colors in bold letters. I really want to dip my toe into more colors. I did that a bit last year and found that I really enjoyed red, but this year and this season especially, I really want to dip my toe into more bold colors, more out there colors, more in your face colors. But I looked through my stash and turns out I don't really have those colors, probably because I never knit with them. So the two more bold or out there or bright colors I had in my stash, this one is called Sunny Lime and this one is called I don't know, but those are the most out there colors I have. So they're in here just to remind me that I want to do more colors. And then my other goals for this season is to do a lot of gift knitting. And I also want to do a lot of stash busting because I have a trip to Sandnes coming up late this spring, and I really want to go to the Sandnes Garn outlet, so I need to stash bust so I can go there and get more yarn. So stash busting is going to be a huge part of my spring knitting plans. And then my last goal is to finish all of my whips because I have a lot of whips that at this point I honestly should start calling unfinished projects because I haven't touched them for months. But I'm going to stick to calling them whips and hopefully finish them this season because they have been untouched on my needles for so long now. But those four are my main goals, what I hope will guide me in picking colors if I get more yarn, in picking the projects I want to work on, and also stash busting is going to be really important, so I really hope I stick to that one. But with those goals being said, I think we can head into my plans. Most of my plans are in here. I might have forgotten some or haven't got all of the yarn for some, but the plans I have yarn for should be in here. And we can start with the first plan I have for this season of knits, and I'm going to start with projects for myself because those are always the most fun. And the first project I want to knit is the Tecla sweater by Eweknit, and I'm going to be knitting it in this yarn that I struggle to pronounce, but it's Emilia and Philomene, and both of them are that, and I have no chance at pronouncing the name of the actual yarn, but this is mohair and silk, and this is 50% merino, 50% cotton, and both that this is a 50% cotton yarn and this color just give me a lot of spring vibes. I think it will be really nice. It's a really light blue and cotton, so I think it should work perfectly for spring. The sweater also has lace details. It's been a while since I looked at the pattern, but I know it has lace details, and I know that the sleeves are made entirely from mohair, so I think the color, the yarn, and the design in itself is really suitable for a spring sweater. It's still going to be a bit warm because of the mohair and because this is 50% merino, but it will still be light and breathable because of the sleeves being only this kid silk, and because of the cotton it will also not be as warm as if it was only wool. So that's a project I am really excited for. I have to say that both the yarn and the pattern for this was sponsored, but I am really excited to try this pattern, try the yarn. The yarn is new to me, and actually the designer is new to me. This sweater is also a pattern from Eweknit, so I am excited to try them again. I really liked working on this and liked the lace detailing, so hopefully the Tecla sweater will be just as fun to knit, and I really believe that this will be a great spring sweater, also in early spring, so that might be one of the first spring projects I cast on, since it will work great in both ends of spring, kind of. And then my next plan that I'm also going to be casting on really soon is the Dawn to Dusk Shacket, and this might be the project I am the most excited about because this has been on my wish list for so long. I can't even remember the first time I started looking at the Dawn to Dusk Shacket and started dreaming about it. The pattern is by Tiffknit, and it's just gorgeous. Every version I've seen of it is amazing. I love it so much, and I've wanted it for so long, but I've been intimidated by it. It looks really hard to do. I think there's seaming and it's knit in sections, and that's not something I usually do, so I am scared of it. But luckily this season I have figured out how I'm going to manage to do it, and that is by doing a knit along. I've found that with scary patterns, what works best for me is to do a knit along. So whenever I think I'm doing something wrong or whenever I need guidance, you have a big group of other knitters knitting the same pattern, and everyone can help each other out. It's also a lot of extra motivation to knit with someone else. So I'm going to be knitting finally the Dawn to Dusk Shacket. The knit along starts in the end of March. It's not a strict knit along at all. I like the knit alongs I'm in to just come knit this with me for extra motivation. You don't have to start at a certain date. You certainly don't have to finish at a certain date. It's just to knit together. So I am really excited to knit that sweater, and the yarn I'm going to be knitting it in is Drops Lima. I have seen a ton of different versions, but I really wanted a non-superwash yarn so I could spit splice, and I don't know, this color just spoke to me when I was in the yarn store. And then I'm going to be pairing it with this Drops Kid Silk. I think I'm a bit unsure about the color names of these. I'm going to put that on screen, but I am really excited to see this color combo, and it might not be the most spring-like color, but I think this is going to work very well for me because it is a color I really enjoy, and I think this knitting it in this means it will work just as well for spring as for fall, and that's when I imagine wearing the Dawn to Dusk jacket the most, because it feels like a very transitional piece when you transition from winter to summer, and when you transition from summer to winter. I think this will be an amazing jacket just to throw over whatever you're wearing, and I'm just so excited. I can't put into words how excited I am to finally be knitting this. I have looked just a tiny bit at the pattern, and I'm just as intimidated as I was before. It looks really complicated, but it might just be because I just briefly looked at it. But hopefully the knit along will work out and I'll be able to knit this. And then the next on my list is another sweater I really want to knit, but I don't have the yarn for it, so I'll have to see if I'm able to knit it. But that is the Sorbet sweater by Kutovakika. I have never knit anything by Kutovakika, and I do really enjoy her designs, and she seems like a really nice designer. So I really want to try it, and I've looked at a lot of her patterns, but the Sorbet sweater just really spoke to me, and I think there's something about the sweater being quite chunky, but still seeming really light that just seems perfect for spring for me, because when I think about spring knits, I don't necessarily think about cotton or tank tops or like sleeveless things. I still need my spring knits to be quite warm. It's not warm here by any means when it is spring, it's just warmer than winter. So I think more about like light colors, bright colors, and lightweight sweaters, but I still want them to be warm, and I think the Sorbet sweater by Kutovakika will be perfect for that. It looked really nice, interesting. I'd be able to try a new designer, which is one of my goals this year, to try more different designers and to broaden my horizon when it comes to knitting, so I don't just end up knitting from the same designers again and again and again. So I really hope I'll be able to get yarn for that and get to knit that. That's one of my big dreams this season. And then another one of my dreams this season is to be able to knit the Solene cardigan by Morecaknit. I have knit now 2 pieces from Morecaknit, 1 cardigan and 1 sweater, and she has quickly become, I think, my favorite designer. I love the way she writes her patterns. I love the way the finished garment fits. I love her designs, just everything about Morecaknit's patterns. They are amazing. I love them so much. I can't say enough how great I think they are. And from before, I have the Paul cardigan and I have the Charlie pullover. Both of them in actually quite bold colors. I don't know what it is, but the Morka knit patterns just bring out bold colors in me, I think. But I have looked at the Solene pattern ever since it came out. I think it's amazing. It is this really basic cardigan, I would say, but to shut it, you tie it together with these I-cord strings, and it looks so elegant, so nice. And I think a cardigan like that, it's quite thin. I think it's like DK weight about there. I haven't really looked at the details, I just have looked at pictures of it and I really want to knit it, but I think it's around a DK weight cardigan, so not too thick. You can easily wear it open, which is great with cardigans, and I think that makes it a perfect piece for spring, and I also think the details with the little bow is so cute, and yeah, I just really want to knit it, and I imagine it's a great knit for spring. I think it would be great in more of a like pastel color maybe. I don't have that many pastel colors, so I would love to be able to do that with the Solene cardigan, but again, don't have the yarn for it, and with that one I don't really know what yarn I would want to knit it with. I think I would want to knit it with a quite nice yarn because it is a really nice cardigan, so I'm a bit stumped, but that's something I really want to knit, and probably that plan will follow me into summer if I don't get to knit it in spring. And then the next thing on my list that I really want to knit is actually something that I have already cast on, and that is the Celeste sweater. Here my Celeste sweater is so far. I have finished the color work. I have gotten started on the body and started on one sleeve, so this is well on its way, but this is also one of my spring knitting plans. I really want to finish this. I really want to wear this. In Norway we use a lot of knitwear in Easter especially, and especially color work knits, so this is just a Easter sweater for me. I think it will be great for Easter, so this is definitely a spring knit for me. I think it will be great, even though it is in darker colors and I started it in winter. I think it will be great for spring, and not everything needs to be in light colors even though it is spring. So here the Celeste sweater is, and this is definitely going to be a spring knit because it's definitely going to be finished this season, but I just had to show it because I think it's going to be one of my favorites. But that is definitely something I'm knitting this season. And then the next on the list is actually a gift knit that I really need to start this season, and that is the Augustins No1 by Augustins.dk. That's a gift I'm going to knit for my friend for her 30th birthday. The yarn is actually hers. She got the yarn but didn't have the time to knit the sweater. Now I've had the yarn for more than a year I think and haven't had the time to knit the sweater, but it's going to be perfect for her 30th birthday. It's a really hands-on sweater, I think. I haven't looked too much at the pattern, but it has ruffles, it has structure, it has I-cords, it has all of the details. And this yarn is also way different than the yarn the pattern calls for, so might have to do some calculations. Definitely a really hands-on project, and it has to be done by early June, so I think to get this done in time I'll have to start April. I think late April at the very latest I'll have to have this on my needles, so this will be a spring knit. I think I really think that the ruffles and the silhouette and the very feminine silhouette of this sweater is also great for spring. I don't know why, but I really like the feminine silhouettes when it comes to spring. I think it is because everything starts coming to life and starts growing, and it just drags me into the more feminine silhouette, so I am really excited to knit this. I'm knitting in Drops Merino Extra Fine and Drops Kid Silk. I think this is the color light beige and this is called greyish, so a mix between grey and beige. And I think together they will be really nice. I think the light beige that Drops has almost has like a pink hue to it, and I think that will suit this design really well. I've been excited to try this and to start this project for so long now, but I haven't really had time to prioritize it, but now it's finally going to happen, and yeah, I'm really excited to try it because Augustins.dk has really amazing patterns. They're so well thought out, and she writes also really well, even though they look complicated and with so much structure and so much happening. She writes very well, so you always know what's happening. You don't have to second guess yourself all of the time. So if you're going to knit more advanced or going to dive into more like structure, things like that, I really recommend Augustins.dk, because she is really great at explaining everything that's going on and doing it in a way that's like really, you know what's going on. You don't get like lost in the pattern. And then another spring plan I have is to use my wedding yarn. This is the kid silk that I used to knit the sleeves and the skirt for my wedding dress. I have 4 skein left of each color, and I have figured out that that is the perfect amount to knit a Cumulus blouse, and I way prefer the fit and look of the Cumulus blouse O-neck. So with this yarn I'm going to make a Cumulus blouse O-neck by Petiteknit. This is both drops kid silk. This is in off-white and this is in the color Mist. And I've already seen them together a lot and worked with them together a lot, because I did knit quite a few things for my wedding dress in them. And I'm so glad I have leftovers and I can make a everyday item with them. I am sure that this will be a really special garment in my wardrobe, because it is in the yarn from my wedding dress, and it will always remind me of that. And I'm really happy I'll be able to make something I can wear more every day to remind me of it. So this is definitely something that's going to happen. Hopefully I'll have time for it this spring, because the colors and pattern feels very spring-like. But if not, I'm going to just do it in summer, because this is something that definitely needs to happen. I really want to use this yarn to make something I can wear every day. I have wanted another Cumulus blouse O-neck for quite some time, and I'm just really excited. I think it will come together perfectly. So these two are going to turn into that. And then we are starting to near the end of my plans for myself. I have another kind of dream knit, and that is the twist loop sweater by Otherloops. I try to make myself 1 cabled sweater each year and 1 striped sweater each year. I have a lot of like traditions when it comes to my knitting, things I like to repeat every year, and one of them is to make myself a cabled sweater. And usually I end up doing that in the fall, because cables really remind me of fall. But there is something about the look of the twist loop sweater and the way that like loops and twists that give me way more fall vibes than, way more spring vibes than it does fall. The other cabled knits I have made have been more chunky, warmer, like stiffer almost knits, and those have been, they have fallen very nicely into the fall category. But there's something about the drape and look and everything with the twist loop sweater that it really resonates with fall for me. So I really want to make that in fall, but I don't have the yarn, don't really know what yarn I'm going to knit it with. It would be really fun if I was able to make it with this, but I don't think I have enough yarn, because this was an outlet yarn and I only have 4 skeins, I think. But imagine having it in this bright color with a bright red orange mohair to match. It would be amazing. It would be so fun. But I don't really have a yarn and plan for that yet, but I would love to make it. And then the very last plan I partially have the yarn for, and that is that I'm going to be knitting the Spring Bloom sweater. As you can hear, the name fits perfectly with spring, because it is a Spring Bloom sweater, and that is a colorwork. It's a colorwork yoke pattern by Hanna Broghammer. It might have more colorwork than just the yoke. It's been a little while since the last time I looked at it, but I know that I want this. It has like flowers. The colorwork is flowers, which I think is really fitting for spring. It's also named Spring. And I have this Tynn Per Gynt. It's in a quite dark color. which doesn't really scream spring to me. I think it's like bottle green or emerald green. I'm not sure. I got this at Sandnesgarn outlet, so it didn't say the name. But I'm going to use this Tiffknit in dark green, and I'm going to pair it with white because the contrast to white will be very great, and then the flowers will be very vibrant, and I think it will be really nice. And as I said, spring bloom sweater fits really well with spring and the flowers and everything. So I think together it will be great for spring. And as I said, Easter is coming up, and Easter is really the time of year when color work comes the most out to play in Norway. So I imagine it will be a great project to maybe work on in Easter, because I think it will be better to wear maybe after Easter, when we actually start to see some things grow here and bloom. But I really want to work on it in Easter, so I think this will be my Easter cast on. I do need to go get the white contrast actually, and I'm going to be double stranding the Tiffknit. I do have a lot. I think I have a kilo of the Tiffknit, so it will be great to also get to stash bust that. But I do not need to get some white, and then that will probably be my Easter cast on, which I am really excited about. This yarn and this plan has also been in my stash for quite some time, I think since early last fall maybe. But I have been waiting for this moment, for this spring, to cast it on. But that's the last plan I have for myself. I do have quite a lot of plans and some dream projects that I'm not sure if I'm going to get to, but I always like to plan more than I'll probably be able to knit, because then I can just choose whatever fits the mood I'm in, whatever fits the weather, whatever fits the occasion. So I like to have lots to pick from. But with that being said, we can head into another category that I am super excited for, and that will probably take up almost all of my time the next half a month, the rest of March, I guess, and that is baby knits. I love baby knits. It's my favorite thing to knit. It makes me so excited. It's my roots when it comes to knitting. I've always knit for babies. I've always loved it. I always come back to it. And I have a lot of plans for baby knits this season as well. I am going to a baby shower very early in April, and I only have finished like half of what I plan to knit for that baby and that baby shower. So half of this box, not half, maybe a fourth of this box is just colors I imagine I'll be knitting baby knits with. So we have some here, there is some Drops Baby Merino, there is some Sandnesgarn Merino Ull, I think this is Lana Grotto merino wool or something. Just lots of different hues of pink, lots of different yarns. There are some DK weight, some fingering weight, just lots of different things. I do also imagine that I might be using this for a baby knit, but I don't have anything specific planned. With the yarn, I do have the specific projects I'm going to knit ready, but I don't know what yarn I'm going to pair with each of the projects, except for the first thing I'm going to do, which is going to be to crochet flowers. I'm going to crochet a little bouquet to go with the baby shower gift, because I thought that would be really cute and fun to have flowers that will not wilt, that you get for your baby. So I'm going to crochet flowers. I think I also might want to knit crochet some flowers for our house. I really imagine making like a Easter bouquet, maybe some sunflowers, like a yellow bouquet. I'm really excited for that. So there's going to be loads of crochet this spring. I really got into crocheting in January and February when I crocheted my wedding bouquet. So there's going to be more of that. And I have loads of this yarn here. This is a cotton merino blend, and from previously crocheting flowers, I know that this is a really pleasant yarn to work with. It crochets really well, holds up really well, and love all of the colors I have. I have probably 10 different colors in lots of different hues. So this yarn is called Lillelyke, and I'm going to be crocheting all of the flowers in these. So that's the first project for babies and also probably for our house, and that has a specific yarn tied to it. And then I have loads of baby plants. I'm going to be making the Ulvabody. Loads of these patterns are in Norwegian. I'm going to see if they're also in English, but I think some of them are only in Norwegian. But I'm going to be making the Ulvabody. That is a really cute body onesie for the smallest kid. It's a wrap body, so you wrap it to one side and fasten it there and then wrap over the other, so you won't have to pull it over the head, which I think is really cool. I haven't tried to knit it yet, but I have looked at this for years, just never knowing who to give it to, but now I finally have a recipient because it is a wrap body. But then along the wrap of it, it also has these ruffles, so I think it will be quite labor intensive to make, even for a small size, but it's so cute. So I really want to make that. I've been wanting to do it for so many years, as I said, and now I finally have someone I can make it for, so I'm definitely going to grab that chance. That's knit in a fingering weight yarn, but I have not decided on color yet. And then I know I've gotten one request when knitting this baby gift, and that is to make a balaclava in DK weight yarn. She wants either the Sunday balaclava, I think it's called, by Petiteknit, or she wants the Uværsbalaclava, so the stormy weather hat but turned balaclava, by Strikkesoffe. As you might know, if you've seen me before, I love the stormy weather hat by Strikkesoffe. I've made 18 so far. I am absolutely in love. So what's closest to my heart is to make the stormy weather balaclava, but I have looked at the pattern and it is really complicated. So I might end up making the Sunday balaclava, just because I have to save time, because I don't have that long left and I still have lots of projects left I want to do. So either the stormy weather balaclava or the Sunday balaclava by Petiteknit, but definitely going to knit a balaclava in about 3 to 6 months or 6 to 9 months. I think I have the size written down, where I have the gift I'm going to knit written down because I got a specific request. And then I really want to do the teddy pants. That's another thing she said really was amazing with her last baby, that she really enjoyed and that she would want a new one of in another size. So that's something I'm going to really try to be able to make. The teddy pants are also really labor intensive. There are so many stitches you need to pick up, so much happening. But since she specifically wanted that, I really want to be able to do it. So teddy pants by Petiteknit is also something I really want to be able to do. I also don't know about the color for that one. I know that the last one I made was in the color Peanut in Baby Merino, and she really enjoyed that color because it would hide so many like spills and like all of the mess a baby makes. It would kind of hide in that color. So I'm going to try to find, I don't want to repeat the color, but I'm going to try to find a color that would do the same. And then I really want to do Bregnebukser by Knitting for Olive. That would translate into fern pants if they exist in English. I think those are really cute as well. I have made a couple before. They are like, what would you call it? They are with yarn overs, and I don't know what that word is in English, but like lace all over. It's really pretty, really breathable. This will be a baby born in May, so it will be a summer baby kind of. So I imagine this in as like 2-3 month size, so it will fit in summer because it is really breathable, but I'll probably make it in wool so it's still warm. So that's also something I really want to make. I think those pants are really great, and they're also not overall, so they're way easier to take off if you just suddenly need to take off the pants really quickly, and I quite like to have that opportunity as well. So hopefully I'll be able to make those. And then if I have the time, I really would want to knit this last one, but it's not a must, it's just something I would love to be able to, and that is to make the Lillysommerdrakt, so Lily Summer Suit by KnitbyJacobsen. It's, I'll put in pictures of all of this of course, but it's just so cute. It's this little suit with all of these ruffles. It's just really cute. I don't know how practical it is. I haven't knit that many girls' clothes before, so I don't know how practical they are, but it is really cute, and I imagine if you would dress up for anything, it would be just really cute. So I do really want to knit that. I might not do the summer version of it, but a more like year-round version of it, maybe with long sleeves instead, and that might work better, but I'll have to see what kind of works and how much time I have. I might not be able to make a version of this at all, because that's like last on the list and the least necessary to make. So that's just a dream I have. If I'm not able to make it for this, I might just make it because I want to make it and put it in the gift drawer. But those are my plans for baby knits that I have right now. There might come more, probably there will be more, because I do love baby knits, and baby knits are my favorite like spur of the moment cast-ons because they don't take that long to finish, so I don't really have to plan them out that well, if they're not for a deadline gift of course. And then next on the list is that I want to make stormy weather hats for all of our friends, the kids, but I already have made stormy weather hats for almost all of my son's friends, but he gets new friends, so I want to make stormy weather hats for them as well. I'm probably going to use Drops Daisy to do that. I think Drops Daisy is really great yarn to do that. I also really like alpaca wool to do that, but I don't have that much alpaca wool on hand. It's a really expensive yarn by Sandnes, but I do have Drops Daisy, so I'm going to knit, I think I'm just going to knit up a couple of the stormy weather hats so I have them to give away to all of his friends, because it is an amazing hat. I love to knit it. I want every child to have one because it fits so well. It's really great to wear. So I'm going to keep my obsession with stormy weather hats alive. I'm going to make one every chance I get. I'll probably be way over 20 hats made by the time this month ends. It's just, when I say it's my obsession knit, I mean it. I never want to stop. I just want to knit that all of the time, and I find every excuse I can get. So I'm going to make more stormy weather hats by Strikkesoffe, and then I really want to make Zipper Sweater Junior by Petiteknit for my son. I have the yarn. I'm going to make it in Drops Nepal in a color I have forgotten, but this lovely blue color. He has a zipper sweater from before, but he has grown out of that one, and now he only has the zipper sweater light, which works well, but there are some days where I just really miss having the zipper sweater original, because that is just a bit chunkier, a bit warmer, and even though we are heading into spring, there still will be days where I know I'm going to miss that one. So hopefully I'll have the time to knit this up. This probably won't be a priority because we won't need chunky knits that much, but having chunky knits on hand and being able to wear those are so nice. Right now his knitted wardrobe is mostly fingering weight or DK weight sweaters, and I really want a more chunky one, and Nepal is great for that. It also has alpaca, so it's just so nice and warm. So this is going to be a zipper sweater in, I don't know what size. I think I have it written down somewhere. but I can't quite remember. And then I have another project I really want to cast on in Easter, or maybe I want to cast on before Easter, so I finish it for Easter, and that is Moby Sweater in original colors. That is like the classic Easter sweater. I have the colors here. It's a merino wool from Sandnes garn. It's in navy blue, red and white, and this will be a really nice Moby Sweater. I also need to make this now because the yarn quantity I have of the colors are for the size that he will currently be really soon. So if I don't make this now, I'll never be able to make it. So that needs to be a priority because I really want him to have one. And yeah, it would be nice to work on in Easter, but I think it would be even better if he was able to wear it in Easter. But my plan with this was to make the like original Marius in the original colors, and the original Marius is sticked. So I am really scared and nervous of doing that. I know that I have my grandma that I can just give it to and she'll work her magic and it will just magically be sticked and fixed and sewn together and ready to go. But I do also want to learn it myself, because one day I want to be someone's magical grandma that will just fix it magically and it will end up being done. So I think I might have to force her to learn, to teach me. She prefers to be alone when she does it because she finds it a bit stressful. But I think I'll have to force her to learn me because to teach me, because I do really want to learn how to do it. I do really want to know how to do it. But that's a plan that is a really big priority because of the size that I need to make it in, and I don't want to make it in a size too small and then never be able to wear it. That I would be so sad if I sticked and it didn't fit. And then my last garment plan for him is that I'm going to make him a whole year sweater, and I'm not going to pick up all of the yarn. But I have Smart. I have lots of single skeins of Sandnes garn Smart that I think will work really well for a whole year sweater. I don't know how else I would get this out of my stash. This color is going to be for sleeves. I also have another pink shade I'm going to use for sleeves. And then I don't really remember what I was going to do with all of the other colors, but I think I have black and brown that I'm going to do the body in, and then this is going to be the ribbing, maybe the ribbing on the body, and then I have white as well that's going to be ribbing somewhere, and this is going to be in the 5 to 6 year size, so I still have time to knit this if I don't have time this spring. But the pinks and the stripes and everything, I think it will be a nice spring knit and a really motivating one, and a stash busting one, and stash busting is one of my goals. So fingers crossed that I will just get loads of knitting time, and the weather is helping getting me more knitting time because now we can actually be outside and still be able to knit. I won't freeze my fingers off quite as quickly knitting outside anymore, and that brings so much more knitting time with a toddler because he can run around being crazy while I knit. So hopefully I'll have time to knit everything. And then my last plan is to, whenever I get loads of leftovers, because I have this here, this is where I keep my leftovers, and I never want this to be overflowing. Right now we are pretty good, but whenever I need to clear something out of here so I make sure it won't overflow, I'm going to make stuffed animals. We are a big fan of knitted stuffed animals in this house. I think it also makes for great gift, baby gifts, birthday gift for kids, whatever. If you make a stuffed animal an adult really enjoys as well, it could be a great gift for them. So I'm going to make stuffed animals with leftovers, and hopefully all of these plans and everything together means that I will be great at stash busting. Hopefully I'll stick to these plans and not get too many new ones, because with all of these plans I have a lot of plans from my stash, so I shouldn't need to get more yarn to knit, and that's really what I hope that these plans do, to keep me accountable and to keep me knitting from my stash, so I can finally stash bust some, because right now I'm really happy with my stash, but I also have so much lovely yarn hiding under this desk because there isn't any space for it. So fingers crossed that I will stash bust enough so I can get to see all of my stash out and about. But that being said, this is my spring mood board and my spring knitting plans. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your spring knitting plans and what colors maybe you are into this spring, just all of your knitting preferences, plans, everything surrounding spring. I always find it so interesting to see how others think about it. But yeah, those are all of my knitting plans, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. That means the world to me. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. Bye!